Hello, exceptional leaders. What if I told you that the true test of your leadership isn't what happens when you're present, but what happens when you're absent? A school's reputation isn't built in meetings or on policy documents. It's built in the moments when no one is watching. Because leadership isn't about control, it's about creating a culture where excellence happens even when you are not in the room. My dear school leaders, what will happen in your school if you disappeared for a month? Think about that. And that's how we say a warm welcome to Excel, the place where the exceptionals come to get better every day. By the end of this video, you'll discover the one leadership shift that ensures your school thrives even when you're out on vacation. So, true leadership is about creating a culture where excellence happens even in your absence. Why does reputation factor matter so much for a school or any organization for that matter? Your school's reputation is defined by what happens when leadership is absent. I want you to take note of that. A school's reputation is not just about what is displayed on its website, its mission statement, or even its standardized scores. It is built daily through the behaviors, the decisions, the experiences of students, teachers, and staff, especially when leadership is not watching. The core idea I want you to take away from this video is that leadership presence should not be required for excellence to be maintained, because a strong school culture sustains itself without micromanagement. So why reputation matters more than you think is that first impression lasts longer than you can even imagine. The parents, students, and even prospective teachers form their opinions about a school based on what they experience when walking through the walls of that school. Another thing is word of mouth is very, very powerful, because research shows that 92% of people trust recommendations from others over official marketing. So what students and teachers say about your school when talking to others determines how the community perceives it. Another important pointer to reputation of your school is staff retention and recruitment. The best educators want to work in schools where leadership fosters trust, accountability, and professional growth. So the key questions for you to answer as we progress in this video is this: is your school's reputation built on genuine excellence, or is it dependent on your constant presence? Schools with strong leadership cultures build a reputation of excellence that extends beyond any single individuals. And schools that rely too much on one leader's authority will struggle when that leader steps away. Think about it. If you are not on seat, if your principal is out for a week, how will your school look like? Now let's talk about the leadership shift from control to influence. Many school leaders mistakenly believe that control ensures success, that strict oversight, direct supervision, and constant presence are necessary to maintain high standards. I once thought so too as a former school owner and a school leader in another school, but I later realized that I needed to focus on building the culture of ownership and accountability in the school, which in the long run changed the mindset of my team members, and we are able to achieve beyond our expectations. So true leadership is about influence, not control. It's about shaping mindsets, shaping behaviors and systems so that excellence happens naturally even when you are not watching. So how do you shift from control to influence? Number one, set a clear vision and communicate it constantly. A leader's role is to paint a compelling picture of success so that every staff member of that school and student understand what excellence looks like. So what are you going to do to achieve this? Begin by holding regular vision alignment meetings to reinforce your core values and your expectations. This is very important. Another thing you're going to do is to develop and empower your people. Instead of dictating every action, train your teachers and staff to lead themselves. And your action step to achieve this is to implement a mentorship system where experienced staff will guide newer educators in upholding the school culture. The third step is to create systems that work without you. Instead of micromanaging, build self-sustaining structures that promote accountability. How will you do that? Develop standard operating procedures for common challenges like behavior management, academic excellence, conflict resolution, whatever it is. You need to create your standard operating procedures for your school so that whether you are there or not, everybody will know what is received, what is acceptable in this school, and what is not. The next step is to foster a culture of ownership. When people feel a sense of ownership, they naturally uphold high standards whether leadership is present or not. So you need to encourage teacher-led initiatives so that your staff will propose and implement some school improvement ideas. They will fight over themselves to protect what they are part of the creation. This is very, very important. And finally, you lead by example. Influence is earned through trust and consistency. When leaders model excellence, it becomes the standard for everyone. So you need to show up as the role model for professionalism, respect, and accountability that you expect from others. This is very, very important, and you need to pay attention. So my friends, you don't need to miss out on the nuggets we share on this channel every week. Hit that subscribe button now and turn on the notification so you'll be the first to know when we upload a new video. Now let's talk about the 4 pillars of sustainable leadership. The first pillar is clarity and standards. I recently made a video that talks about standards. You might need to check that out in our channel. Now, talking about clarity and standard, a school thrives when there is no confusion about what is expected. Excellence should not be left to chance, my friends. How can you implement clarity and standards in your school? Begin by clearly defining your academic, behavioral, and operational expectations in a school culture book. That school culture book should not just be in the book for the book's sake. You need to be internalized. People need to get used to that school culture book because it will clearly define what is expected and what is allowed. Then you conduct onboarding sessions for staff to ensure alignment with core values. When new members of staff join your school, there should be properly planned onboarding sessions that will align them with the core values, the ethos of the school. And you regularly review and refine your standards based on the feedback you receive. Remember that schools that display core values in classrooms, hallways, and offices see stronger alignment across staff and students. You too can do the same. The second pillar is empowered ownership. If only one person is responsible for excellence, then excellence will disappear when that person is not around. Ownership must be shared. And how will you implement ownership mindset in your school? Begin by creating a leadership team of senior teachers, coordinators, and student leaders to champion school values. Assign ownership of key roles like discipline, curriculum, student engagement to different leaders, and recognize and reward staff who take initiative to maintain high standards. A school where teachers lead professional development sessions fosters a sense of investment in the school's success. You need to empower them to own it and to lead it. The third pillar is systems and structures. We cannot overemphasize how important this is. Schools that function smoothly have strong systems in place to maintain order even when leadership is absent. How will you achieve this? Begin by developing standard operating procedures for everything that goes on in your school, from classroom management to conflict resolution to everything. Then implement a clear chain of command so that decisions are not delayed when leadership is unavailable. And you can also use technology for automated reporting, communication, and task tracking to reduce dependency on individuals. Remember, a school that has structured daily schedules and well-documented processes will continue to operate efficiently regardless of leadership presence. And that is what we want to achieve in our schools. And the fourth pillar is culture of trust and accountability. A school that relies on strict rules and punishment alone cannot sustain long-term success. That is the hard truth. Leaders must build a culture where people take pride in their work. How will you implement this in your school? Conduct weekly staff reflection sessions where teachers share wins and challenges. Then implement a peer accountability system where your teachers will observe and provide constructive feedback to each other. Foster a culture of psychological safety so that teachers and students will feel comfortable taking responsibility without fear of excessive punishment. Remember, my friends, schools with strong cultures of accountability see fewer disciplinary issues because students and staff uphold expectations out of shared commitment rather than fear. That is like following the leader because they want to, not because they have to. So, my dear leaders, what is your leadership legacy? If you stepped away today, what will remain? What is one thing you can do today to strengthen your school's reputation? Leadership is not about being present all the time. It's about building something that lasts beyond you. Do you want to implement these strategies in your school? Reach out for a school leadership strategy session by sending an email to eduiconsconsult@gmail.com. Follow us for more insights on transformational leadership in education. Like, share, and subscribe for more leadership insights and self-improvement tips every week. See you in our next video. Stay blessed.